Dear students, good evening. Last class we discussed about metrology, right? So how to measure the length using vernier calipers, micrometer like a screw gauge, and diameter. So using teapot gauge, ball and wire, telescopic internal gauges, right? And we have one more concept like angle measurement, that is using bevel protractor, time bar, right? And under this area, we have we have covered the topic like a planning meter. So what about this graphical and numerical? We'll see in the next class, right? These two. And in addition to this, with the concept of comparators, we have all these concepts. What is the comparator and the requirements for comparator, and its types, maybe mechanical, electrical, pneumatic, and optical comparators. All are covered in the last class. Today we will see the next chapter as per your industry instrumentation 2, nothing but density and viscosity measurements. So for any fluid or for any liquid, the basic property of a liquid or fluid is viscosity and density. These two are the general properties for any fluid or liquid. You can take any liquid or you can take any gas. Definitely there should be some viscosity and density. But remember, when fluid is going to be changed or the liquid is going to be changed, the density and viscosity may be definitely they are going to be changed. We cannot say that these two parameters, the properties of a liquid or fluid, cannot be same for all the liquids and fluids. So when the fluid is going to be changed, the density is modified, it changed, viscosity also be changed. So for different liquids or different fluids, there should be different densities and different viscosities. But the question is, as an instrumentation engineer, in the industries, we are going to know the value of density and the value of viscosity. So for certain liquids, certain fluids, this is very, very important. We should know before applying for any concept or for any other application. First of all, we have to know these two parameters like density and viscosity. Remember, these two properties are available in the chapter 2. As an engineer, your main aim is you have to know how these two parameters are going to be measured with available instrumentation, with available instruments. That is the point here, right? So in the chapter 2, there are there is a density is half of the chapter and viscosity is another chapter. But remember, uh, density means you have to what is the definition, what are the methods available, you have to complete it. And viscosity and what is the viscosity and what are the methods available and what are the instrumentations available for knowing it. So we have to cover the two concepts under chapter 2, right? Uh, as by my intention, so it is better to know viscosity than density. So once we complete this viscosity and then we go for density, right? This time we will see what is viscosity, what is viscosity, right? Um, yes. What is viscosity and what is consistency measurement, right? So viscosity generally is a measure of fluidity of the liquid or the gas. So what is general meaning of viscosity or fluidity? Generally in Telugu, if you speak viscosity, it is signata or what is called it is I mean what is called మందము లేదా చిక్కగా చిక్కగా అంటాం కదా చిక్కగా ఉంటుంది లిక్విడ్ ఆర్ ఎనీ ఫ్లూయిడ్ చిక్కగా ఉంది మందంగా ఉంటుంది అని అంటాం బరువు వేరు మందం వేరు చిక్కగా మందం రెండు ఒకటే వస్తాయి బరువు వేరే కాదు బరువు అన్నప్పుడు మనం డెన్సిటీ మాట్లాడతాం దాన్ని తెలుగులో సాంద్రత అని అంటాం బరువు కాదు మనం మాట్లాడేది చిక్కగా ఉందా పలుచగా ఉందా మందంగా ఉందా అని మాట్లాడతాం దట్స్ కాల్డ్ విస్కాసిటీ విస్కాసిటీ ఇస్ ఎ మెజర్ ఆఫ్ fluidity of the liquid or the gas. So that property of a liquid you want to measure it. So the property may be going to change for different fluids, different gases also. So many fluids undergo a continuous deformation with the application of shearing stress. So when you apply any force or any stress or any pressure to the liquid or fluid, it is ready to move. It is ready to spread. So when it is not spreading means what it means? It opposes some resistance. It opposes the resistance. So this resistance can be measured in terms of consistency. So the consistency of the fluid is called viscosity sometimes. So that fluidity we want to measure it. That viscosity we want to measure it. Generally, if you plot a graph between the applied force and flow, What is applied force and flow? For any liquid or for any fluid, if you apply a force, there should be a flow. Without force or without any stress, there should be no flow. So generally for any liquids or for any gases, if you apply a force, known force, there should be a flow. What's the relation between force and flow? Generally a straight line. See, this is called velocity. This is a gradient. This is a gradient. Gradient can be defined by dv by dz. This is a gradient we are calling. So if you apply a velocity, if you apply a force, there should be some velocity or flow or velocity. So the relation between force and flow, it is almost linear. It is linear for Newtonian fluids. For there should be some other fluids, this relation may not be linear. It is simply non-linear, like this. So we should care about this. We should think always like this. All the fluids and all the liquids comes under Newtonian. So we cannot say exactly all the fluids following the same linear characteristics. That means the relation between force and flow is always linear. Some fluids are available. The relation between force and flow may not be linear. So generally it is a special case. For some fluids or liquids, the relation between force and flow, force and velocity is linear or sometimes non-linear. Depends upon the consistency or viscosity of the fluid, right? That's a different issue, right? But the question is, how do you measure this fluidity or viscosity of the unknown liquid? How do you measure it? So we can measure the viscosity in different ways. Before going to know the methods to measure viscosity, we have to know what the definition of this viscosity. We can define the number of ways the viscosity. There are number of ways. Terminology is different. In the industries, as per the requirements, they are defining the viscosity. Definition may be modified accordingly. So generally, viscosity may be, number one, viscosity is often formulated as the ratio of shear stress to shear rate. Stress to shear rate. So it can be write like this: dynamic or absolute viscosity represented by mu. Dynamic or absolute viscosity. How we are defining? Mu equals to S by dV by dt, where S is nothing but stress, applied force to the unknown fluid or unknown liquid. Okay? To the what is dV by dz is a velocity gradient. Velocity gradient. It can be calculated from the graph. From the graph, dV by dt. The graph can be calculated like this. So the simple viscosity mu can be write S by shear stress by gradient. The units for the units of this viscosity is poise. Poissons. What is poise? Poise is nothing but 0.1 newtons second per meter square. Meter square. So, uh, we are defining in number of ways. Is viscosity, right? Other definition for this is fluidity. Fluidity can be defined like this. Fluidity. This is absolute viscosity. You can write stress by a gradient. Units are poise. Next, fluidity. Fluidity can be defined reciprocal of the poise. RFC, reciprocal of poise, nothing but fluidity. Okay, fine. And kinematic viscosity. We are representing small v. Small v can be write kinematic viscosity. It is a ratio of mu by rho. Mu by rho. So what is mu? Mu is the absolute viscosity. And what is rho? Rho is the density. Rho is the density. Density is another issue. Later you can know in the chapter 2. No problem. Okay. Once you calculate density and once you calculate the viscosity, the kinematic viscosity can be estimated with this absolute and density like this. And there should be other definition, specific viscosity. Specific viscosity can be calculated mu suffix s, s refers to specific viscosity, can be write mu by mu st. What is mu? Mu is the absolute value. What is st? S is the standard value. For any liquid, for any fluid, there should be some standard values. So thereby we are determining the specific viscosity. And there should be some relative viscosities, mu suffix r. Relative viscosities at suitable temperatures, we need to calculate this calculation. So ratio of absolute viscosity of the fluid at a given temperature, ut, to the absolute viscosity of the standard fluid at 20 degrees temperature. So like this, it can also be estimated the relative viscosity mu suffix r. And lastly, we have viscosity index I suffix y. Viscosity index I suffix v. It is an empirical number that indicates effects of changes of temperature on viscosity of the fluid. Large I suffix v means lower sensitivity to the temperature. So it is an index value. So like this, we can define all the way the viscosity value. So generally, the viscosity is nothing but fluidity. How the fluid is going to be spreading with the application of force or shear force, stress. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, వాటర్ తీసుకోండి, లేకపోతే ఆయిల్ తీసుకోండి, పెట్రోల్ తీసుకోండి, హనీ తీసుకోండి, హనీ వాటర్ ఒకటేనా? వాటర్ వేరు, హనీ వేరు. వాటర్ ఇలా పోసి ఇలా పడేస్తే త్వరగా స్ప్రెడ్ అయిపోతుంది. హనీ పోయి లేకపోతే ఎక్కువ థిక్నెస్ ఉన్నటువంటి ఏదన్నా ఆయిల్ నుంచి ఆయిల్ పోయి క్యాస్టర్ ఆయిల్ తీసుకో, ఎంత స్లోగా స్ప్రెడ్ అవుతారు. Understand? So the liquid to liquid, that value is going to be modified. Viscosity is different, the fluidity is different, right? So that is the viscosity of the unknown one. So like this, we have different methods to know the viscosities. So some important viscosity meters are available. Viscometers, also called, they are called viscometers. Viscometers are the devices or instruments available for measuring unknown viscosities, right? So what is the first one? Capillary viscometer. Next, Seebold viscometer and rotometer type viscometer. Series rotating cylinder viscometer, cone and plate viscometer. So these are all available in the syllabus. So we'll see at least two or three this class, right? What is capillary viscometer? Capillary viscometer function on capillary action. See, yeah, this is a capillary viscometer. There should be a capillary tube. This is a capillary tube provided. For the tube, there are two ends, end 1, end 2. These two ends are connected to a differential pressure meter. Here we are applying air. From that we are going to connect a meter, indicating meter, having some control signal. And this pipe is excited with some constant flow pump. Through this pump, we are giving some unknown liquid or unknown fluid, maybe gas or liquid, like this, through this pump. Constant flow. Okay. Here some providing some air leakage, so that the liquid or any gas may freely flow through the capillary tube. Okay. See, the capillary method has been successfully used in refineries. In any refineries, suppose oil refineries generally, okay, for measuring viscosities of the petroleum products. Petroleum refineries, you have to measure the viscosity of the unknown petrol. Okay. In this, there should be a continuous method. Liquid is forced at a constant velocity through the capillary friction tube. So here, from this, liquid is forced, right, through friction tube. This is a friction tube. With this friction tube, liquid is forced. The pressure drops across the ends of the tube, here and here. The pressure drop. What is the pressure here and what is the pressure here? These two pressures are measured with this differential arrangement, differential pressure meter. So the pressure drops across the ends of the tube is measured by pneumatic force balance type, differential pressure transmitter, DPT, the differential pressure transmitter. So these two pressures are measured. The indicator can be directly calibrated in viscosity. So this is the indicator, will indicate directly the viscosity of the unknown liquid, which is pumped by a constant flow pump. Okay. This method can be measured viscosity from 10 power minus 3 Poisson to 3000 points. It is usable at high static pressure and is suitable for remote indication and control. So in this capillary action, Have you understood this one? We have to some a flow pump. Through this pump, unknown is liquid is uh, sent through a capillary pump, capillary tube, and connected to pressure connection. With this, we are measuring pressure. So how much force it is experienced this meter temperature pressure transmitter. So initially when it is pumped, what is the pressure? And it is moving through the capillary, what is the pressure here? These two are differentiated, and so that it is measured the viscosity in terms of pressure. In terms of pressure, you change the other liquid through this pump, you may get other value. Water, you send water, you may get some value. If you send petrol, you may get some other value. If you send honey, you may get other value. Okay. So the capillary method is an early method. Early this will be useful in the petroleum products, right? Next one is Seibold viscometer. Seibold viscometer. So you have the experiment in your industrial instrumentation lab. This one, how to measure viscosity using the Seibold, and one more instrument is there, right? Yeah, you see practically also, no problem, right? In this, how do you measure the unknown viscosity? Means it is arrangement. It is arrangement. It is a tube. It is a tube. Remember, understand clearly. So it is a complete arrangement having some dimensions like this, and it is a tube. It is a tube. At the end, there is some capillary. Small end is provided. Outlet is provided. Remember, this tube is filled with some liquid. This tube is filled with some liquid. Yeah. And this total arrangement is placed in a constant temperature bar. This total is placed in a constant temperature bar. Yeah, see the relation. Seibold viscometer works on the same principle of operation of capillary viscometer, but this method measures kinematic viscosity. Okay, schematic set of the method is as follows. It consists of gradiated tube. This is the tube with a capillary at the bottom capillary. The tube placed in a constant temperature bar filled with liquid. So this tube is filled with some liquid, and measured quantity of liquid is drained through the capillary. So we are going to drain the water towards out slowly. So for varying viscosity, the time required should vary. So when we are sending drop by drop the liquid towards out, we need to calculate the time. For example, 60 cc, the time t required to drain 60 cc of the liquid. 60 cc of the liquid you are going to send. So how much time is required for 60 cc towards out? That time you have to measure it. That time you have to measure for 60 cc towards out from this total capillary. Remember that total capillary is within the constant temperature bar. Constant temperature bar. And you place temperature value in this, time value in this, you may get capital small v as our requirement of the unknown viscosity. Understand here? There is a relation V equals to AT minus B by T, where A, B are constant, that values are known. A equal to 24, B equal to 1900 for this arrangement. For this arrangement, A equal to 24, B equal to 1900, it is fixed values. But only T is going to be changed. The T time you have to measure it. T depends on how many 60 drops, 60 cc towards out. Not 10 cc or 20 cc or 50 cc. 60 drops బయటికి రావడానికి అంత టైం పట్టింది. Based on that time, substitute the value, we estimate the viscosity. Seibold viscometer. Okay, and Next one is rotameter type. Rotameter type. Okay. In this rotameter type, see the arrangement is a pipeline. Is a pipeline, and it is a orifice. Orifice is a pressure measuring device. Pressure measuring device. So we are connected along the length of the pipe at two corners between these orifice. Before the orifice and after the orifice, we are having the arrangement like this. This rotameter. Rotameter is connected from between here to here. We are connected rotameter through a flow regulator. Through a flow regulator. So a liquid is flowing through the pipe, no doubt. The unknown liquid is flowing through the pipe. For that liquid, you want to measure the viscosity. Remember, that liquid is bypassed, and for the liquid, there should be some flow. That flow should be controlled with a constant flow pressure regulator. Constant flow pressure regulator. So when the liquid is flowing through the pipe, the same liquid also flow through the pressure regulator. So that flow is controlled with this, and that flow is given to the rotameter. This is called rotameter, having a scale. Rotameter scale is in terms of pressure. Terms of pressure. That pressure is calibrated to read viscosity again. Okay. This rotameter having two bobs. Two bobs. One bob is for flow sensitive, another bob is for viscosity sensitive. So the liquid having two properties. One is flow, how much flow, how much velocity the liquid having, and how much viscosity the liquid having. Two parameters we have to measure it. But our aim is here not the flow. Our aim is to measure the viscosity. So here we are using two bobs. When the flow is flowing through the rotameter, the bob which is sensitive to flow, that will have some, that will stay at one point, that will give some other value. On the scale, when the bob is stationary at one point, at this point there should be some scale. Based upon the scale, we know how much velocity is there, how much flow is there. It is not our issue, but our issue is there is another bob. So when the flow is having like this, for this liquid, how much viscosity is having? The viscosity, this liquid, how much viscosity is having? So it is sensitive, and it is displaced from here to here. So there is a scale. The scale will give some pressure value. The pressure value. Based upon that pressure value, we are estimating the viscosity of the unknown liquid. Unknown liquid. So the same arrangement you can use for different flows, different flow of different liquids. You send water, you send castor oil, you send petrol, or you send any coconut water, isn't it? You send any other liquids. So remember, for when the liquid is going to vary, the flow as well, the viscosity is going to be modified. So this graph shows that mu versus the flow versus the flow. See, Q1, Q2, Q3. Q refers to flow rate. Q1 is less than Q2. Q2 less than Q3. See, Q1 for some flow, which is small flow, medium flow, higher flow. See that values of the viscosity. The viscosity values are modified. So like this, we can measure the unknown liquid flow as well, mainly the unknown viscosity of the liquids or fluids. You can easily measure With the suitable methods or instrumentation or instrumentation. Okay. Next class we will see the remaining viscometers. Okay. Uh, if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. You can ask me. Otherwise, you can close the class. Any doubts, Ma?